Hello, Olympia. It can be hard for me to wake up every day and witness the horrible injustices that are happening in our country and not feel an overwhelming sense of dread and doom for our collective humanity. I look at what's happening on the border and throughout the country, and I'm sick to my stomach, as I'm sure many of you are. And I wonder why there is not only a lack of public outcry by the majority, but almost a relishing in suffering. As a mom with 2 young kids, I wonder how anyone can look at images of dead children and babies in cages and not cry out in despair for what those parents are feeling. Because I know how much I love my children, and I know the lengths I would go to protect them. And the only thing that keeps me from feeling like there's no way to recover from this lack of humanity, feeling like we've reached this point of no return, is people like you, people who show up and send a clear message to this administration and the world that we will not support the inhumane treatment of people anywhere. So not in our community, not on the border, not around the country, in detention centers. And not only though do we not support it, but we won't let it continue. So some of you I know are showing up tonight as veteran advocates and protesters. You've been here standing loud and proud for human rights for decades, and we need you. We need your strength, we need your wisdom and your guidance, and we need your longevity to tell us and show us how we stay in this fight. And some of you I know can be showing up today, and maybe this is your first protest or vigil or rally. Maybe simply coming here was an act of courage. Maybe possibly a step out from your friends and family who may not believe like you. And we need you too. We need every person to show up today and every day to show that we won't stand for this. Elizabeth McLaughlin, who is one of the organizers of Lights for Liberty, she says, "We need a showing so massive that it shuts down the nation and shows the world that we will not stand for this. That will show every child in detention who looks back in this moment that we fought for their right to live and be free." We can't just sit at our house anymore watching this without taking action. This may not directly affect me or you yet. And many of you are probably familiar with a quote by Martin Niemöller, who lived during the rise of Hitler and was in a Nazi concentration camp for 7 years. He said, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." We know from history that the oppression and brutalization of people does not start and stop with one group of people. It's a sick culture that gains momentum if left unchecked. We see this continued in the ways that Black and brown bodies are mistreated in our country and in our community, and we need to dismantle this entire system. Because really, it does affect us, each of us. We share a collective humanity that needs to be preserved. And really, the only way we win is if we all win. So my name is Tiffany. My co-organizer's name is Devin. And we have lots of friends and family that are here that have helped to organize today. And there's really nothing special about us. And what I mean by that is that we're just your average people who care deeply about humanity and who want to help. And that's really what I want my message to be, is that you don't have to know what to do or how to do it. You don't need to have any experience or special qualifications. You don't need to hold a position of power or position of office. You just need to care, and you need to act, and you need to speak out against injustices. So at the dinner table, at the park play dates, at work, in your church groups, We need to donate to organizations who are doing this work, and we need to show up. And speaking of showing up, I hope that you'll join me tomorrow as we continue with this constellation of lights up at the Northwest Detention Center. We need a lot of voices to show support to the people who are currently detained. We want them to hear our voice, and we want people visiting to see that we support them. Yeah, thank you. It's 12:30 to 4, I believe, but there's specific details on the Olympia Lights for Liberty page or the Tacoma page. So most importantly, which is what we did, you need to reach out to local organizations who do know what to do. We ask them how to help. Today you'll hear from many speakers from those organizations, people who have been doing this work for decades, who have experience and qualifications we don't have. And today we're going to take the time to learn from them. We're going to use today just as a starting point for the work that we are committing to do from this point on. Thank you for being here.